Okay, here we go. Average value of a function. It's not. It's honestly, it sounds worse than what it's going to actually be. So there is a picture down here, but I guess I would like to start. Oh no, I want this one. Let's draw a shape, and I'm going to pretend that I drew that really nicely. Oh, I'm a good artist. We should roll. Okay, Lily? You wanted to yesterday, didn't you? This person will have the easiest question of the day, hopefully. Unless they don't know it, and then I don't want it to look embarrassing.
What is that? 1, 5? Nah, don't give me 3. That's karma.
Okay, how do we find the area of this? Good. Okay, so we've got the length. Times the width. I'm going to call this height. Actually, I should probably call this width and height. I mean, in terms of a box, if you put a box and there's no if it's not on like an axis, well, then the wording doesn't matter at all. But I think most people would probably prefer to call this width since we're going left to right, and then up and down would be height. It doesn't matter too much. We're just going to go with that. So pretend this is an axis. Lily, who do we have? Oh, how do you pick up the pyramid one so easy? 1, 9. 1, 9. I probably shouldn't have drawn this picture starting at the origin. Because it makes my question harder to answer if it's, oh, that worked so good. Let's call this x equals a. Since it's numbers we don't know. How would we figure out how wide that box is if we don't know the numbers? Like pretend it's like a 2 and a 10. In your head, how do you figure out that it's 8? Good. So, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Without just trying to tell you. Okay, so the width would be b minus a. Now, if this box was made from having a function, right, like a height of a function, what would the height be? The line is on the bottom.
6. F of C.
What? You're cheating by looking at your notes. How dare you actually read ahead? So f of x is the height. The reason it's written as f of c is c represents just a random number. Okay, the problem with the notes is that represents a normal function. Okay? You're getting in a workout today.
1, 9.
You're having a lot of trouble with those. The line is not your friend today.
3, 4.
3, 4. You love it though. How do we find area um, from a picture, like on a function. What have we been doing lately to find area? Is that a good enough way to phrase it?
Like, we've been like taking some like sections of it
Yes.
and then adding them
Oh,
I don't know what you're trying to add.
so what you're describing is how we first started doing areas, like when we estimated them. What did that lead to? Basically everything we've done since the last 2 months. Yeah, the integral. We've done the integral from a to b of the function. No, I mean, it was good because I didn't have a good way to phrase the question. So integrating finds you the area. What we're leading up to is this. If you have something where the height goes up and down constantly, well, then it's hard to find the average height. What we're going to do is we're going to treat our function as a weird rectangle. So basically the top of the rectangle, could change however. But if we go through the process of finding the area of this weird shape by integrating, and if we divide by the width, then that should give us the height of our funny rectangle. So this is the whole idea behind average value. Average value means average height. So all these notes that you have written down, there's a bunch of pictures, all sorts of stuff. Some people are very good at just memorizing formulas. Some people can't remember a formula for the life of them. So if you are a person who is not good at remembering formulas, I wanted to show you this because that's how they come up with the formula. They take the area of your shape and divide it by the width of the shape to get the height. And if you have a shape, oh, that's too far. If you have a shape that the height changes, well, then the answer for your height would be the average height, like the middle. So that's how they come up with average value. 1 over b minus a, or it's written underneath. Some people like the formula like that one better. And then the function value is going to be the average height, which they say f of c because the height changes a lot. So that's pretty much the whole section is based on this one formula. So then let's do a actual normal problem together. 1-1 comes up an awful lot with these dice. Okay, example number 1, which I guess would be page 2. So we have a function and we're asked to find the average value from 1 to 4. Do you want me to write down the generic formula first? Would that be helpful? Or okay. So the generic formula is 1 over b minus a times the integral from a to b of f of x dx. So if we take that generic one and kind of put in our actual info, what would we write? And I can help you through the parts if they're stuck. Okay. Good. 1 over 4 minus 1.
Times the integral from 1 to 4
Good.
of 3x squared minus 2x.
Perfect. Yeah. So you're going to get this same question quite possibly on the non-calculator portion of the test as well as the calculator portion. Generally what's going to happen is if this is on the calculator portion, those numbers that you're going to get are kind of horrendous. Like they might ask you to find the intersection of something and something, and you would have to use your calculator to find out where they intersect. So it might be some random weird decimals. If it's on the non-calculator portion, it'd be similar to this, where you actually could just integrate it and find answers. So Lily's going to help us figure out who's going to help me integrate. Are you on your phone in between rolls? Oh my gosh.
1, 2.
Look at the distraction. 1, 2?
Yeah.
Can you help me integrate that? So integrating 3x squared first.
Yeah. It would just be x to the third.
Yep, so you add 1 to the power, divide by 3. So we'd get x to the third.
Minus x squared.
Perfect. And then we write that bar to signify that we're going to plug in numbers. So we're going to go from 1 to 4. Whatever this answer is, we have to multiply by 1/3. So it's kind of up to you how you want to write it and put your notation. I usually just prefer to try to be very, I'm not sure of the right wording there. I don't like to use parentheses a lot because then it kind of feels confusing. So I try to switch up my notation, like the actual symbols for grouping. So 1/3 times whatever I get here. Oh yeah, maybe we should just have somebody. It's been a while since you guys actually had to integrate these by hand, I feel like. So we need somebody to tell me how to do this.
2, 7.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. Is anybody else in here doing the silence thing? Okay. 3, 6. Do you remember how to actually calculate the?
I think so.
Okay,
So first you plug in 4
perfect.
to it, and then you subtract it by plugging in 1.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't meant to be like a trick question. I feel like some people in here probably have been using that calculator for a lot of things lately. So I thought you could use a reminder on how to do it by hand. So 1/3 times 58, 48, 48 minus 0. Yeah, 16. One more person. Yes, really.
2, 6.
Josh, what does 16 stand for? What did we actually just find? Yep. So if I were to actually draw 3x squared minus 2x. Let's see, what is that? Negative b to 1/3 would be the center axis. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, if I factor out x, I'd get a 0 at 0 and 2/3. So the vertex would be at 1/3, somewhere down here. So if I draw this parabola from x equals 1, which is right there, to x equals 4, which is way off my screen, the average height is 16. So I'm going to guess at 4, it's probably up at 33, 34 or something like that, because 16 is generally about going to be in the middle. So that makes sense. B, find the value of C guaranteed by the mean value theorem for integrals. This makes it sound so much worse. That just means the formula we just used to find the average height. That's all it means. I'm thoroughly impressed at how easily you pick up those dice because I can't do it. 3-7. Any thoughts? Not much. I'll spot you this. So what it's asking us to find is the x value, which is c value. Find the x value that has an actual height of 16. So what would I write on the left-hand side to find out? You don't need, I feel like you're overthinking this one because you're kind of trying to like come up with something.
Would I use that formula at all?
The one I wrote in green?
Yeah.
No, because we already did. We want to know, okay, so this formula found the average height of 16. We want to know when this is equal to this.
Oh, so it's at 16.
With a twist. They call it C instead of X. I don't know why, they just do. But yes. Sometimes the question absolutely can make it feel like you're doing something way more than you are. It wants to know where the graph has an actual height of 16 in between 1 and 4. That's what it's asking. I have no idea what this answer is. I'm going to guess it's like 2, 3, 2.5-ish. This wasn't supposed to be a terrible one, but it kind of is turning into it. 3c squared minus 2c minus 16 equals 0. There's no way this is going to be a quadratic formula one. This isn't a calculator question, right? No. Okay, so 3c. We need factors of 16 that I can make 2, so I guess I'll try 4 first. That's 12 and 4. 4 and 4 didn't work because I can't make 2, so I would then go to 8 and 2. And if this didn't work, I would switch them around. So I can get 3, 6, and 8. And to get -2, I would need -8 plus 6. I know most of you guys probably didn't learn this method of factoring, but I feel like you're probably good enough by now to do this. Like you probably learned the method that was for 3-term hard, where you multiply the outside two numbers and do a lot of steps in between. Oh, I guess it probably mattered who you had for Elch too. Sullivan definitely taught it that way. Miss Young, I'm not sure which method she uses. Does she teach like an X or a box?
Well, Sullivan taught it both ways. Sullivan taught it the X way and he taught it this way.
Huh. All right, either way, this is the guess and check method of factoring 3-term hards, and it usually is much faster for somebody who's good with doing numbers in their head. So I found 2 zeros. One of them is worthless. One of them is not. Lily, somebody should tell me why one of them is worthless and one of them is not. Oh, that was so close. It almost came out to be you anyway. Aiden, do you know this answer? Otherwise, where no one was trying to volunteer.
It would be 8 thirds.
How come not -2?
It's not between 1 and 4.
Perfect. We only cared about which one was between 1 and 4. Very good. Okay, I wanted to spend most of my time on this first question because, to be honest, that's like a majority of the work that you're going to do for all of them. Should we go through number 2? I don't know if you guys looked at number 2 yet. Is that one that you feel like we should go through together? Maybe we can set it up together without actually finding the answer? Okay, that definitely works for me. This is a calculator one, so it's obviously not meant to be done by hand. Not that it couldn't, it would just take a lot of time. Okay, so in 2000s, world population was 6.1 billion. Relative rate of growth was 1.4% per year. Modeled by that function, where n is people in billions, and t is the number of years since 2000. Assuming this model holds true until 2050, find the average population between 2010 and 2020. Honestly, I'm not sure why we'd want that, but we can do that. I'm trying to think what would be an actual use of finding the average population. Can't think of one off the top of my head, but doesn't matter other than us trying to do this as practice.
So to sum it up,
I was going to say I didn't know if you wanted some help or not, or if it felt okay to you.
so we're gonna do the same formula, so would it be 1 over 20 minus 10? It says from 2020.
Nope, that's absolutely perfect. I was getting screwed up because when you said 20 minus 10, I initially heard you say 2010.
Oh,
So, no, that's honestly the majority of the difficulty on this question is just because of the way it's phrased with the years.
yeah.
A is going to be 10 because it's 10 years after 2000. B is 20 because it's 20 years after 2000. That's perfect. So how about the rest of it?
And then the integral from 10 to 20, and then the function.
Perfect. 0.014 t dt. And you'll get an answer on the calculator. Says so right there. I have no idea what the answer is. No, I'm sure it's written down for you. 1.4. What are the units? So it asks this at the end of the problem. What are the units? So whatever number you get as an answer, doesn't matter. I don't care. That's what I was asking you. Oh no. I'm assuming years definitely is in the problem. I'm assuming by the question saying what are the units, it's trying to ask what would you label the number answer. So whatever this number comes out to be, what does it represent? Perfect. You definitely knew what you were talking about when you said like years and things like that. So whatever this number comes out to be, it represents how many billions of people was the average population of the Earth between 2010 and 2020. Would it be billions or billion? Billions, right? No way, that seems wrong. Maybe it's because I didn't write an actual number. Let's see, what time is it? 104. Do you want me to go over number 3 with you? Number 3 is just asking you what those things stand for. It's not even asking you to find them. Oh, okay. That's why I was going to ask if you guys felt like if it was confusing at all what the information represents, because I could go over that. Casey says no, emphatically, very dramatically. Okay, I only want to look at this one because of one difference. Lily, we need somebody. Why is this question different than the other ones? That's really all that matters. What's different about the way the information is given to you? It's the graph is a piece function, so it's made up of a bunch of pieces of smaller ones. So if we were going to be trying to find the average value theorem answer, B, you cannot just immediately use the formula because they're all different equations. I can't, well, I guess it's not f of x anyway. I can't just write s of t dt. There isn't one single equation to use. So we kind of have to come up with a method what we want to do. Sure, we can call on somebody. Everybody looks super willing to participate. Andy's falling asleep. I think it would kind of be funny to call on Casey again, but
Well, it was Casey.
because she looks so happy to go through this right now. Any guesses or thoughts from you how we should go through to try to find the average height? And I can guide you if you want some guidance. I just didn't know. Nothing. Okay. How about 1 over b minus 8? Do you think we could figure out that part of the formula with or without a picture? Bless you. Again? Yep. Perfect. The 80 and the 0 part isn't any different. So we could actually just flat out use that. So it's 1/80th. What does the integral represent again? It represents the area under the curve. So it represents this. Now we can't find the answer by just doing the integral. We have two options. This is a calculator one, isn't it? I was assuming. It doesn't say, but I'm assuming this is a calculator question just because of the way the information is given to us. The equations aren't hard, the numbers are. What are you doing? There's no way people would believe me in real life if I told them some of the strange things kids do during class. Or did you want to keep going, or do you want somebody else to go? Okay. I was just assuming, but. The castle is disintegrating on you. How can I find that area? There's two different ways. Both are correct.
Use the functions that are on the very end.
What do you mean by the very end?
It has like,
No, I just didn't know what you meant by that phrasing.
what could you use negative 1.5 plus 1.9
That equation?
and negative 14 plus 2.9.
Okay, how would I use those?
Would you integrate them?
That is part of one way. I'm not sure if you mean that as the whole thing.
I don't know.
You were just kind of throwing something out there. No, that's fine. That's a decent guess. So one thing we could do is we could find this first area. And you could find it by making an actual trapezoid, kind of like when we did estimating. So you could find the area with a trapezoid, or you could integrate negative 4t plus 341, but you could only integrate from 0 to 11.5 because you're told that's where the first section was. And then we could, okay. Has the computer died? We could integrate from 11.5 to 22 of the next equation, plus the integral from 22 to 32. Basically, you can integrate each individual little one, and there's no absolute doubt this would be a pain in the butt. This would take forever for not much reason. So I'd have to write all 5 of these. None of the 5 equations are the same. And I don't even have enough room. Now, doing this integral would be the exact same thing as if you just tried to calculate the areas by hand by doing trapezoid formula. Okay, I don't have room to write that. And I could put these all into parentheses and add up the 5 areas and then multiply by 1/80th. So basically what I have written in blue stands for the area of the whole thing. What I wrote in green is how I would have to find the area of the whole thing, because you've got 5 different functions. So a piece function, you have to break it apart and do them individually. The key part is that you make sure to add up all the areas before you divide by the width. I know, that was a lot of work. We're just going to guesstimate here. I don't know the correct answer, and I don't want to type all that in to find out. I mean, we absolutely could, we just don't have enough time. Last person of the day. Oh, look at, you're making everybody nervous. Do you just keep getting that many repeats? Yeah, we have not. Ronan, what's your best guess at the average value of that picture? Is it going to be 260?
Yeah.
Are you just, what? Where is 260? Were you really not paying that much attention?
No, I was paying attention. 26
Oh.
the y-axis.
It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
So would that be the average height? Estimate or a guess?
No, no.
No, because it's at the bottom.
I would say maybe.
That's why I said a guess. I'm just looking for
I would say 310.
310. I'm fine with that. I would say anywhere between 300 and 310 would be a really good guess because it's about the middle-ish. You're basically just looking for as much information on the top as on the bottom, approximately. And so if we calculated out this big, huge thing at the bottom, it would probably come out to be about that. And honestly, I'm sure it's in the answer key. I just didn't look it up. I have it posted for you guys, so if it's going to bother you, you can absolutely look that up on your own too. But otherwise, this is the whole section. It's just finding average height. This is about as difficult as it'll come for you. It's not bad. This is a nice, easy section. And the good part is you guys have Monday off to do this. I will be thinking of you while I'm sitting through my morning 4-hour meeting on the new state standards and my afternoon meeting with Eastridge staff. It'll be great. I have a meeting all day long. Okay, I'm done. We've got, what, 10 minutes left? 10-ish minutes left.